Hi everyone. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Oops, there goes the camera. That's what happens when you try to record in your bed. Things are a little unstable. But I certainly did not want to leave my bed this morning. The cats woke me up super early after a night of delightful insomnia. So the dark circles are back, and it's another 3 coffee day. I hope that you slept better than I did. Oh, I'm going to take a sip before we get started. Oh my goodness. So I hope you all are hanging in there. I know that some places around the world are lightening or lessening their stay-at-home orders and letting some businesses open again, letting some people go back to work. So if that's you, I hope that you enjoy breaking out of your home or where you were and enjoy a little bit more freedom. But I also hope that you please be careful and take care of yourself, and also think about people around you and in your community when you're going out and about. So make sure that you keep other people in mind when you're going grocery shopping and going to work and whatever else that you're now allowed to do. So for those of you who are new to my virtual coffee dates, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Jessica. I'm the Peaceful Prof on Instagram. And the purpose of these coffee dates is to share a morning ritual with you where I read a poem of the day and pull an oracle card just to give us a little bit of inspiration, sometimes, some motivation, a bit of a mood boost. And, for me, it adds some consistency and some structure to each of my days. So I started this when the social isolation and quarantine stuff began as just a way to know and add some predictability to at least the mornings. And it has actually helped encourage me to add a little bit more structure to the rest of my days as well. So I'm hoping that by sharing this routine with you each day, that you might be encouraged to establish your own ritual or your own routine dedicated to some form of self-care that makes you feel happier and healthier in these really crazy, chaotic times. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you found me. And without further ado, I will read our poem of the day. And so, like I told you, had a rough night of not sleeping and then an early morning wake-up call by the cats. So the poem that I chose for us today is actually called In Praise of My Bed. I thought that was particularly appropriate, and it really spoke to me. So, as you can tell, I'm still in my pink coffee cup pajamas, so I do love my bed. All right, so this poem is once again featured in the book Good Poems for Hard Times that were selected by Garrison, Keillor. Great book if you're looking for a poetry collection. And once again, the poem is called In Praise of My Bed by Meredith, Holmes. At last I can be with you, the grinding hours since I left your side, the labor of being fully human, working my opposable thumb, talking and walking upright. Now I have unclasped, unzipped, stepped out of, husked, soft, a beer only. I do nothing but point my bare feet into your clean smoothness, feel your quiet strength, the whole length of my body. I close my eyes, hear myself moan, so grateful to be held this way. I just love that. In Praise of My Bed by Meredith Holmes. I mean, who hasn't had that moment where you get home after a really long day and you're exhausted and you're maybe a bit grumpy and you take your shoes off. Women, you probably take your bra off. such a great feeling to take your bra off. So you unclasp, unzip, step out of, and point your bare feet into the clean smoothness of your bed, right? Such a good feeling. It's also, I think, great and amusing that when you read this, you're like, it kind of sounds like she's talking about a lover, but she's talking about her bed. So, I don't know. I related to that very much this morning. So, In Praise of My Bed by Meredith Holmes. That's our poem of the day. A little bit more amusing than some of the poems I've shared in the past couple weeks, but I thought you might enjoy that. So our oracle card is next, and I shuffle the deck off camera and pull a card at random. And the card deck that I've been using is Crazy Sexy Love Notes by Chris Carr and Lori Portka. And the card that I pulled is You Can't Please Everyone. You can't please everyone. And we've got a lovely card we've got some horses with a zebra in the middle. And I don't know if you could see that or not. I know it's kind of backwards. But the horses are totally giving that zebra side eye. Looking at him askance. That's hilarious. So this is what our card tells us today. When you're focused on living up to other people's standards, you aren't spending enough time raising your own. Some folks expect you to act a certain way and march to the beat of their boring drum. They find safety in sameness, but you have beautiful music inside you. Your flair is meant to be shared. Don't shrink to fit in or get approval. Instead, dump your need to please and just be your magnificent self. Here we go. You can't please everyone. Ain't that the truth? I mean, you think like as you grow older that you leave the desire to try to please everyone and try to fit in and try to be the same as everyone. You think that you leave that behind when you were a teenager, in the teenage years. But I don't know about you, really don't. I mean, I'm a people pleaser for sure. I've struggled with it for as long as I can remember. And so yeah, it's really hard to not want to try to, kind of dim your own glow in order to fit in order to be accepted, in order for people to like you. It's hard not to compare yourself to others and to not want to try to fit in that way. But I think, obviously it's a worthy endeavor to try to, take the focus off other people and put it on yourself from time to time and be proud of who you are and be proud of your current accomplishments, not what you're striving to be or striving to do or what your goals are, but right in this moment, being appreciative of who you are and where you are and being proud of that. I'm reminded of so the author and speaker, Glennon Doyle, you can find her on Instagram if you haven't heard of her. She has a new book out called Untamed. And she was talking on Instagram, I think this morning, kind of about this topic. And she was saying how important it is that we search for and depend on our own voice of inner wisdom rather than seeking out or relying on the voices of outer approval, right? And I think that's really powerful because it saves us from living someone else's life, because our lives have never been lived before. They will never be lived again. With our talents and gifts and perspectives and our brains, right? Our lives are unique and our lives are our own. And so she said in her post that we need to stop asking people for directions to places they've never been, because there is no map. We are all pioneers. Isn't that great? That's what she said this morning on Instagram. And I thought that really resonated with me, right? That stop asking people for directions to a place they've never been, because our lives, our experiences, our perspectives are unique. Of course, we share plenty of things with other people, We share experiences, we share values and beliefs, but when it comes down to it, our lives are our own and our lives are unique. And no one has lived our life before and no one ever will. And so they haven't been to our life, they haven't been us, right? And so I think, we have to trust our own guts. We have to trust our intuition and really listen to our own inner voices and allow that to guide us. I think a lot of times we stop trusting ourselves, that we stop trusting that inner voice of wisdom, and we listen to other people perhaps too much. And I'm not saying that other people don't have valuable feedback to offer us and that other people can't help shape who we are and who we become, because that's absolutely not the case. I mean, think about, there's plenty of inspiring family members and teachers and leaders that definitely do have an impact on who we are and who we become. But I think that there's a lot of value in really tuning in and listening to our inner voices and allowing ourselves to be guided by that inner voice of wisdom rather than those outer voices of approval, right? So, our message for today. Perhaps our poem is telling us to take it easy and to appreciate the little things, such as a delightfully comfortable bed after a hard day. And then our oracle card is encouraging us to remember that you can't please everyone, right? And that we need to stop focusing on other people's standards, other people's expectations of us, and really listen to our inner voice and really not dim our glow, right? Not kind of resist the sameness, resist the safety that provides, and instead allow your flag to fly, right? However it is. So that's our daily poem and oracle card reading. I hope that you enjoyed it, found a little bit of inspiration in it, something to think about for the rest of the day. And I hope that you'll join me again tomorrow. I do these coffee dates live on Instagram stories Monday through Thursdays, 8 a.m. Mountain, 10 a.m. Eastern. And then this Friday and every Friday, I do a special, more in-depth session on IGTV. Where I talk about self-care, mental health, mindfulness, and some other topics related to those. I go a little bit deeper, sharing strategies, techniques, ideas that have helped me, as well as some research-based strategies that hopefully might help you as well deal with some of the stress and the struggles and the tension that we're experiencing right now. Just being human, right? So I hope that you'll join me tomorrow, and I hope that you'll check out that special episode on Friday. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I enjoy sharing these moments with you so much. And if you have any ideas for future topics, whether that's a poem that you enjoy or a poet that you like, I'm always looking for new poems to read. Or if there are topics related to self-care that you'd like me to discuss further, leave me a comment and let me know. I want these sessions to be valuable to you, and I want to talk about things that you enjoy. So please let me know in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.